He's 15 minutes early. I think you're good. So welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. We're going to be doing some dirt work this morning with Mr. Cotto. And here in about 25 minutes, I should have some slate here. So while we're waiting on that, let me show you guys what we got going on. You guys hang in there. All right, guys, so we're down here in the Sawmill building, and I've got a new machine coming. It should be here in about 2 to 3 weeks. It's going right there. It's about 12 foot wide, and I think 24 foot long. So it will not take up this entire area, but that machine is why we expanded the barn out 24 more feet. We went 24 feet this way and 40 feet this way. And it gives me some nice covered storage over here as well for other things, if not just for a nice little drive-through right here. But anyways, that machine's going right there. And I don't know if you guys could tell, the ground is anything but level right there. In fact, when they set that post over there for the barn expansion, they had to go back and pull it up out of the ground a few extra inches because they didn't realize how out of plumb this is right here. It goes downhill quite a bit. That's why I got the transit. We'll shoot grade over here about where Mr. Cotto is and come over here and see how far down it is. I need it to be pretty level, and slate is a good material to build anything up. And that will be a good base for the machine to set on. And if you don't want to wait 2 or 3 more weeks to find out what this machine is, go join the Patreon page. It's $5 a month. You get to find out about stuff like this before it hits the channel. You see these videos without any ads, etc., etc. And you have direct communication with me via email as well. That's my little plug there for Patreon. Thanks in advance. So let's get the transit out of the box and shoot the grade real fast. I think I hear a truck. Yep, there's our slate. He's 15 minutes early. We go talk to him. Hopefully he can back in underneath this building. I think it's high enough. You think you can get in there? Probably. And just dump it where it's going? Okay. Okay. All right, guys, he's pretty sure he can get in here without hitting those trusses. That's a good load of slate right there. Oh yeah, plenty of clearance up there. I think you're good. All right, guys, that right there was one load of slate. I think it was about 10 tons. And it got me to where I think I need to be for this machine, guys. Now that gap right there, you can kind of use that as a gauge on how far down this building is on this side compared to the rest of it. But I don't want to build up this side over here to be completely level with the rest of it. Really no need for that. As long as this area right here is decently level or flat or whatever you want to call it, that's what we want. The new machine is about 10 foot wide and 24 foot long. So this area right here should be more than enough to set it and have a nice stable foundation. And this slate right here, guys, is good stuff. I tell you what, a nice hard surface right here for the new machine to be sitting on. And guess what that load of slate cost me? $100 for that load, and that's including delivery, and that's not too bad. The first time I bought slate was back in 2010. We was filling in a hole at a place we used to live across town, and that was 15 years ago, and it was $60. So 15 years later, $40 increase, not too bad. And as we drive over this for the next 20 or 30 years, it gets harder as time goes on. It just pats in even tighter. And I'm not going to put any rock or nothing on top of this. Just going to work on slate right here, and it'll be just fine. And the reason Richard was in Mr. Cotto right there spreading that for me is because he's a lot better operator than I am. And if I can take advantage of him with nothing to do for about an hour and put him to work running one of my machines, I'm going to do that every time. He's really good on that thing. It didn't take him just a few minutes to get this done right here, and it looks fantastic. So it looks pretty level. Let's see how level it really is. I've got the old Spectra out here, my transit, or laser level, whatever you call it. Every time I mention this in the video, somebody usually corrects me. Let me see here. Okay, everything's looking good. Let's get us a baseline and check all the corners. Go back here to this back corner first. Let's see, I don't know if I need to go up or down. Probably down. Now this is a Spectra laser or transit, whatever you want to call it. Kind of expensive, but I tell you what, if you can afford one, they are handy to have around. Right there is where we were just at. Let me see, might be a little high. Nope, a little low. Oh, I wasn't hitting the laser. Here we go. Okay. So right here, we're about 2 inches low from that corner. I'm fine with that. This doesn't need to be perfectly level right here, just pretty close. This might be a little low right here, or it might be perfect. My goodness. Get out of here, sweat bee. Tell you what, these sweat bees are awful for some reason. My goodness. That's right on the money right there. I think you can rent these transits, but I tell you what, guys, for something you only have to use a few times a year, it's nice to have on hand. Looky there. So when you hear that solid beep, that means you're right on it. When you hear the little intermittent beeping going on, it means you're really close. And really close is good enough for me. All right, guys, it looks like for now we're done with this little project. I was thinking I might need another load for this right here, but according to the transit there, we are right on the money. And this one right here, guys, it's made by Spectra Precision Laser. I bought this off Amazon about 2 years ago. I think it was about $600, something like that. I'll leave a link down below if you're interested. Like I was saying, guys, it's not a tool that you will use all the time, but when you need it, man, it's nice to have it on hand. And right there is the model number LL100N. Really good to have on hand. But there is one thing you need to do to this laser if you do buy it. And that is, when you're done using it, take the batteries out of both components. If you leave them in there, The batteries go bad over time, then you have a mess on your hands. Ask me how I know. I'm telling you what, guys, this building is filling up fast. 40 foot wide, 96 foot long, and a 40 by 14 lean-to over there. And this is a nice big building. But sometimes, I tell you what, especially in days like today, I wish it was about twice this size. You can never have enough room. So next up here at the sawmill, I need to run this walnut through the edger. Get rid of some of that sapwood. I got some dunnage over here on the sawmill. This is walnut with the pith in it. We'll turn that into firewood blanks, run those through the splitter later on. And all the walnut will be stacked on here and go in that pile of walnut right over there. All right, friends, we got ourselves a new grapple here at the sawmill. This is made in Canada by Easton Made, and they're pretty famous for their log splitters. They got into grapples and stuff like that a while back, but their main product is log splitters and wood processors, and they got some nice ones. I've seen them at the Paul Bunyan show before. But this is their grapple, and Andrew up at Easton Made sent this down here to me. He wants me to try it out and tell him what I think. And I'm looking forward to it. It's pretty heavy built. That's some super thick steel right there. My goodness. Looks really good. And these sides right here are removable. 1.5 inches it looks like. You take that off. These two at the bottom stay on. And this lifts off. So it's primarily marketed as a firewood grapple, so you can dump your firewood in there. But when you take these sides off, you can use it as a log grapple or debris or whatever you're doing. I don't have an impact right now down here at the sawmill to fit that. I think that's 1.5 inches. So right now we're just going to use it with these sides on it. And I'm pretty sure I can grab one of these logs on the front right here, even with the sides being on there. But that right there, guys, is pretty nice. One of the features I really like about it right off, it's got dual lids right here. A lot of grapples will have a lid, and sometimes it's as wide as these two, but it has 2 cylinders, and it's one piece, meaning there's no separation right here. If you run a sawmill and you get a tapered log, which happens a lot, you can grip that tapered log a lot better with the dual lid right here. Really good design. I'll leave a link down below to Easton Made's website. You can actually order these straight from their website. And I'm pretty sure they'll deliver them to you, but that's not going to be free. I'm sure there's a cost in it, but it's well worth it, I'm sure. And I'll tell you what, guys, this thing is heavy duty right here. My goodness. Friends, next up on the sawmill is something I'm excited about. Not sawed this stuff in a really long time. Sassafras. All right, guys, real fast, here's a sawmill tip for you. And before I show you what the tip is, just think about this. Whenever you're sawmilling, try to think about the end use for that log. If you do that on every log, it would get you ahead of the game. So here's what we're looking at. While I was cutting into this cant right here, I noticed there was some tension, so it started pulling itself up this way in the direction of that bow. So therefore, I want to make sure I saw off this face right here, because the boards will have a bow in them, but since we're making shiplap, we're going to be nailing them down, and that will take the bow out of them. Now, if you didn't do that, and let's say you kept on sawing down from this face, your boards would have a crook in them. And when it comes to making shiplap, a crook is very bad. A bow you can fix with nails, but a crook you can't fix with nails. So I always try to remember that. When you see your tension coming off right here, everything on this log is going to try to go that direction. So if you're doing dimensional lumber or shiplap or something like that, saw off this face right here and you'll be a lot better off. If you're grade sawing, it doesn't matter. Go to your best face, and if you still have this crook in it, you got your best face, but you can also take that board and take the crook out of it by cutting it in half or maybe running it through the edger to get it nice and straight. So always, guys, watch your log as you're sawing, especially the movement with your tension. And something else you could do that might help you out is mark the face that you want to saw from. I don't always do this because I can pretty much see what's going on, but if you're new to this technique, come down here when you see this tension, get you some marking paint and spray that face. That way you know where you're sawing from, because once you start flipping this log, it's easy to forget which face you need to saw from. Ask me how I know. But I tell you what, guys, that right there was a good log. I really enjoyed sawing it. Sassafras is a very unique color, and it smells just like root beer. I don't know how many times I've probably said that in this video. And it mates for some really nice boards right there. Got the cathedral grain right there in the middle. Limited defects. Really nice boards right here. This will mate some really nice shiplap here in a few months. So in closing here, friends, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you don't care, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys back here on the next one.